Right, today I'm showing how to make jamon cocido con verduras in pasta pimiento. So this dish keeps on reoccurring. I keep on making it, and it just came through trial and error locally, those sort of vegetables which in fact turn up most commonly, and pimiento sauce and jamon cocido is cooked ham. What you have to do is chop up some celery, having boiled some pasta, maize, which is sweet corn, Alubias, Rojo, which is two kidney beans, all put in a jar after they've gone cool. So we have maize, just sweet corn, in one jar there, on the food, not me, and cooked pasta. That's gone everywhere. From the local supermarket here in the Canary Islands, we have ham and cheese, so it does involve queso, of course. Chop up the apio, preferably slicing long ways as well as sideways to chop up, about a half of a pepper, and lots and lots of cilantro or perijil, which is parsley. So it's the flat leaf parsley anyway, and this particular type of sauce is all we can get because they've stopped doing the original pimienta sauce. But you can make any sauce out of a simple salad cream with no vinegar and pepper put in when we come to that. So very quickly now, the other ingredients are nuts, and I shall prove as swiftly as possible that I can make this dish by putting it together and stirring to make a wonderful dish which should be eaten within 24 hours and only last for 1 day. It should do 2 people, 2 servings twice in 1 day. Definitely, it can stay in the fridge overnight if it's made in the evening, but it really shouldn't be around for more than 24 hours. Now, it's important you comprara una pimienta and 2 colores, 2 colours, red and green, to save money from buying 2 peppers, which would be far too much to put inside this dish. The size bowl that I'm using is an average casserole or glass Pyrex bowl to make it look more attractive. But any receptacle of that certain size, which is about the same hand spread of 2 hands, will do. A large part of the difference is the pasta in the bulk and the maize. So remember not to use too much pasta. Plenty of finely chopped peppers. Parsley is best shredded, but the stalks really don't matter. You try to discard the ones at the bottom, obviously they are the stalks, but the stalks in cilantro, once they're in the dish, they're very non-apparent, and of course they add to the flavour, but you don't want stalks. That is really the remainder of the parsley there, and this is really what we use. So that would be about, in the end, no more than about a handful, and then you just get the bits off from the stalks that you want to use left. Mixed bag of nuts. The essential ingredient is the raisins and the walnuts. In case you don't know what a walnut looks like, it looks like that. But this is a mixed bag of nuts, so there are a couple of other nut varieties in there. So if we just have a look at the where we've got to already, we've got the nuts, the parsley, the pasta, the maize and the kidney beans are already in. And it now at this stage comes to the sauce, and we put the pasta and the cheese on top and start to mix. But it's important to get the sauce mixed with the pepper as soon as possible for ease of stirring. And about half of this sort of size, average size of bottle worth of sauce is fine. Doesn't want to be too saucy. plenty of pepper on top of that. It's important to use a pepper mill with black peppers inside it, grind them up rather than use table pepper is really impossible with that. So it has to be a pepper mill, pepper grinder to be able to do the job. Is the camera lady watching? Hello. So this sort of way in which you buy ham is always delicatessen ham sliced on a clean machine, but it is important in Spain to know whether or not you're buying Jamon Cocido or Jamon Serrano. Jamon Serrano is cured ham. It's definitely not for this dish. This is, like you know it, regular and very nice local ham. Shredded up by simply slicing sideways. It doesn't matter that there's quite a lot of green bits in it because it's all going in there. The whole lot, I should think. So that is what we say 10 lonches. 10 lonches de jamón, yeah, is 10 slices of ham. In this case it seems that I've got quite a good ham there, so it's quite a bit thicker than normal, so I've got a little bit to spare. So I've left about that much. So there's 10 slices of ham and grated cheese on top. I've only got another 1 minute left, and then I should have by then stirred it, and you should be able to see the finished result. Important to have a box grater instead of a simple one, because by now you've got quite a lot of moisture and cilantro and parsley all around the place, or parsley, and the rind of course has to come off the cheese to be able to do a good grating job. It's not getting grated into the moisture at all. I'm doing it just to one side of where the moisture was, and then it's possible to put that together, but it really doesn't matter if there is slight moisture. And people worry a lot about pasta when they do it, because it usually is in water. If you leave pasta to stand and go cold, it absorbs that water, and that's perfectly alright for 24 hours to be mixed with the sauce inside the glass bowl once it's got the top on it. But I would emphasise that all sauces that are left out in salads have to have a cover over the top of them, otherwise they go dry and nasty. So the moisture is important, but it's also something that you need to take great care of about cleanliness. But this is all fresh since you've been watching. It's about just a bit more than a handful of cheese in the bowl. Mix it up together. You can see I've got about the right quantity. One very unnecessary stalk it's got to come out. Actually those can be discarded there. I think you probably are thinking, what does he want to put the stalks in for? But you know, as I say, well, you can see by now, if the camera lady just looks at what I'm doing here, the food, it will show quite plainly that it will start to all blend together very well. Okay, I've got to grant you a bit more sauce. So that's now 3/4 of one of those. That particular type of sauce is just called Aloyo E, and it's new to me. That the original Pimienter sauce isn't designed for steaks, but in the case of not being able to get a salad sauce, I suppose a peppercorn stalk for a peppercorn sauce for a steak would do. However, luckily here in Spanish territory there are many different pimienta, which are peppercorn sauces, which are not designed for cooking. They are just salad sauces. And so there we have that dish. There we are. That's that.